Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am Naturally Elise, and that is my brother,
JR.
and we are the R&B representatives, and we are super excited today to welcome Santana.
Woo!
Hello.
Hi, hey guys.
Hey, how's it
Mm.
going?
Everything's good. It's a nice Sunday. I have friends coming over later, so I'm making a nice little dinner. Just, a cozy New York Sunday. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
And how about you tell folks about yourself as little or as much as you like to share with folks?
Okay, my name is Santana Caress Benitez. I'm a chef. I went to school, I guess at this point, like 13 years ago, and ever since then, I've just been in love with food and cooking and all things cooking. Recipe development, recipe testing, branding events. I do anything revolving food. I've done a lot of random things in the last decade or so, to include being on She's Gotta Have It on Netflix on both seasons. I played the character Lulu, which was fun, but it was not like something I pursued. It just happened. So I have always, well, when I say always, I would say since when I started this whole culinary path, I always wanted to make sure that I was in a not so traditional way of doing it. Like I worked in restaurants for a bit and then I was just like, this is not for me, but there's so many other ways to, make money and travel the world through food. And so I've done that. But the ultimate goal and what I'm working on now is my food and travel program. So not a run of the mill cooking show, much more like docu-series, run and gun, traveling the world, talking to people, digging in deep to culture and food and politics of the space. So yeah, that's where I am. I'm based in San Juan, Puerto Rico, but I'm here in New York for a couple months working. I tend to go back and forth, but San Juan is home. I didn't grow up there, just Puerto Rican by blood. And yeah, that's it in a nutshell. There's a lot more, but that's condensed.
Yeah. So, how about you tell folks what song you decided to talk about today, and do you remember hearing it for the first time?
Mm. Well, it's a very difficult task to choose your favorite R&B song. So I'm just gonna just put a disclaimer out there. My favorite song depends on the mood and the vibe I'm in. I'm very nostalgic, so I tend to reach back to old R&B. Also, probably something to do with my age group. It happens that way. You kind of get stuck in music you've always listened to. There are some good people out these days that I appreciate, but there definitely are. But there are albums that I just go back to time and time again. And Voodoo is one of them. And on Voodoo, it's an unskippable album, right? It is completely unskippable from beginning to end. That shit is just like perfection, masterpiece. You could play it at parties, you could dinner with your lover, driving. You can do anything to that album. I love it. And so actually what gave me the idea to choose the root off that album is because I was scrolling through IG and there was a guitar page that was highlighting Charlie. I forget his last name. Forgive me.
Hunter.
He was,
Hunter.
there you go. Charlie Hunter. There you go. And just seeing him play it, just raw form and playing, it was just so cool. And I said, "Ooh!" As soon as I heard that bass, I said, "Oh, I got to put that album on. I got to put that album on." So I put that on. I said, "Okay, this is perfect, perfect to choose for discussion because I mean, the root is just a beautiful, beautiful song. The lyrics are really simple and straightforward, but also a little nuanced if you get it, referencing, working a root and how that can be like go to the core of you. And I've seen people, depending on what you believe or not, but I've seen people who've had things worked on them and it's apparent in their lives, or they lose weight, they lose jobs, they're sad, they're depressed. But in this song, he uses it as heartbreak. This woman broke my heart, and the love that she took away was the root that was worked on me. And we know that heartbreak lives on and it goes deep and it pulls out your shine sometimes. It takes that shine from you because you're so lost in it. So when he talks about leaving his mojo in
Yeah.
his favorite suit, these are things that I'm like, damn, you hear it and it could be literal working a root, but it's talking about that heartbreak that just penetrates deep, you know.
Yeah. And that's something I love about D'Angelo's writing because, it's one, I mean, just go back to Brown Sugar. Like, it's one thing on
Mm-hmm.
the surface if you're not really paying attention. It's like, oh, it's just a
Yeah.
girl and she's fly,
Mm-hmm.
met in
Mm-hmm.
Philly and all this. And it's like, but that's not what the song is about, but it can be if you want it to be. But
Right.
you know, it's about a
Okay,
good old
I'm gonna call
sacred plants.
for sure, but you know what? I'm gonna call some bullshit on him on Entitled on how does it feel. I read an article like maybe like 10 years ago, and he's talking about how does it feel was a song about Jesus, about how, and I'm like,
I
wait a
heard
second.
that.
This song is way too sexual and literal for that. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
call bullshit on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, D'Angelo, we
You know what
can't
I mean?
give you
Like,
that pimping. Nah.
sir,
He tried it. He tried it.
Yeah.
he tried it, but that's okay. We'll accept it because he was fine as hell. That is the sexiest video of all time. But back to the root. I got distracted. Shit.
Yeah, I
It's
have a picture
okay.
of D'Angelo and Maxwell on my wall of them, like one of their few pictures together. Those
Oh
my
man.
guys.
Oh man. I've met Maxwell a couple times actually. It was always at the premiere after parties and then at Spike's block parties and he's cool as hell. Like he's fun, he shows a lot of love, and he's Puerto Rican. What's up? So I love him. I love him.
Yeah, I got to
I
meet
do.
Maxwell, and he was so kind. He was so sweet.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
he is. He is.
yeah. And another thing I love about uh the Rue and D'Angelo, like he's playing all the instruments. He wrote it, produced it, sang the sang the backgrounds, just everything. Like,
It's actually fascinating. It's just beautiful. And you know, his music, you can always hear gospel music in his
Just about to say
always.
that.
Like I
Yes.
was raised Christian. I no longer identify. I haven't for many years, but you know, that's something that you get foundationally. It never comes out of you. And also
Mhm.
too, like just I always give the distinction between Christianity and Black American Christianity and what that means beyond religion. It's cultural. It's, you know, we all went to vacation Bible school. We all, you know, we all did that shit. We kind of get those references and those jokes, whether it's food or certain characters in the church. It
Yeah.
is a cultural thing. And so I still love to hear it. It still does something to me, but the root is pretty incredible. And I also find it fascinating. Well, I don't know if fascinating is the word, but I'm always tickled or I always laugh at the album art because it's like, I wonder, like, did someone say, hey, put these eleques on? Like he's wearing these necklaces, right? Which are,
Hmm.
those aren't necessarily part of the voodoo practice or voodoo that it's not. Those are Orisha related, which is a different tradition. So I find it interesting. I don't judge it because I think there's a lot of crossover. And I think, I mean, one practice is one and one is the other. I'm not trying to create some like spirituality like a lot of people are doing online. So it's to me, it's very clear that that was just for creative direction.
Hmm.
But when you think about whoever was involved in this album, you know, D'Angelo's background, what's being conjured in the studio and making something like that, and the way that that album hits us and just feels vibrationally so high that it's like it makes sense. I'll accept it. Although again, I just want to be clear, the art, I mean, the actual necklaces mean something. They don't mean anything
Right.
to him on that cover. Although who knows,
yeah,
maybe he received those. Who knows? I don't think
yeah,
so, but I'm always like there that album is so alluring and so like it's almost like that intoxication of like going to New Orleans where there's a lot of different, there's like this underlying current of mysticism from all different cultures being pulled there. There's something
Hmm.
about voodoo that feels like that,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you
yeah.
know?
Oh,
And then when I think about it, I mean, it's pretty emblematic of. I mean, you think about Christianity and how much is Black Christianity, as you said, and how much Orisha traditions are in it, and voodoo and hoodoo thing. Like it's a melange of like all these different things. That might not have been what he was going for, but
yeah.
it
It's
Exactly.
you can make it mean because it's art. You can
yeah.
make it mean what it means to you. So
It just with and y'all were talking about like the gospel feeling of it because we know D'Angelo is from the church. So that's just you feel it, and with voodoo, you really feel it. And then like it's like his inspirations are all up in this project. Like, especially this song. It's like you feel his Prince influences in it, you feel Al Green in it, the way he's stacking his vocals like Marvin, like it's all of that. It's like a gumbo of things. Speaking of New
A
Orleans, it's
gumbo.
like a
There you go.
gumbo of things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
just that, and it's just like this song when I heard it because you had Pino that was just giving us everything from one more gin and Send It On and all that. So when I heard this, I was
Oh,
like, is Pino playing the bass on this? Like, is he doing this? And then you had Raphael on the line. So you get to this, and I'm like, yo, it's something different about this bass that it's just
oh, the
like,
line. There's all these songs you just said. As you say them, I'm like, oh, I want to hear that. I want to hear that. It's right when you say the title, I want to play
yes.
each song and I want to get into each song. And trust me, when I get off the call with you guys, I'm gonna play that album as I prep for dinner.
Yeah, see, I was there yesterday. So I was playing the root, and then it was like, all right, I want to hear the line. Oh, I want to hear booty. Oh, I want to hear one more. So I was like, you know what? Let's just play this whole thing. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
then it was
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it just feels gospel, it's funk. And then like I'm really like now, thank God to at least I'm really into lyrics because I'm more into feeling of the music than
Mm,
lyrically. And
mm,
Elise has me looking at songs differently now. And it's like this, even though I knew it was about heartbreak, but when he was like, I think my soul is empty, my blood is cool, and I can't
yeah.
feel my legs, and I need
I
someone to
can
hold
feel
me, bring me
it.
back to life.
Ooh.
Like, what? Like that, the depth of that, I was just like, oh my God. Like
Yeah.
now that I'm listening to it differently, and thanks to at least lyrically, I'm like, before I'm feeling the feeling, I'm like, the way, Charlie Hunter is playing the bass and he's playing the guitar on the same like leads. He's playing it
That's
on
so
one guitar.
crazy. I was just like
It was
fascinated.
bugged. And I saw an interview that he did, and he said, yo, even though this song was most fulfilling, it was the hardest song that he ever played because he's playing both at the same time.
And
Like,
that
how do
song's
you
gonna take it out of you. You don't just come up with something good without it has to be hard.
Yes, yes. Because he said they were jamming to just like Jimi Hendrix before this. So he
Ooh.
said they was just jamming. And then he said the next
Ooh.
thing you know, they just got into this. And he was sitting there and he was like, it's just so hard, but it challenged him. It made him a better, player with this. And he said he
Yeah.
listened to it now and it's so much joy because it's like, this was so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because for me, I'm
Yeah.
listening to, I'm like, okay, let me look at these liner notes. Who's playing the bass and who's playing the guitar? It's two different people. And just to know he played it,
It's pretty wild. I'm saying I learned that last week. I was just like, whoa. And it made me want to just put the album on, which I would say I probably listen to Voodoo at least once a month, if not more. Like it's one of
yeah,
those albums that just is truly it without hesitation, I would put it in my top 10 albums of all time without hesitation.
yes,
And that's
yes.
saying a lot. Like we're music heads, right? Like that's saying a lot, but I have what? It's going there. Like
It's
it's
the it's
duh.
the fact with me, like, because I'm a brown sugar head, like it's my favorite, but I always say that Voodoo is like his artistic excellence. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. It's like no song is out of place.
Nope.
All of this. And we talked about this album with Zoe. And I love how Elise said how thick this album is. It's like you can't
What?
really, it's like it's hard to get through it. It's like, and that's why, and I like that about D'Angelo because it was thick on Brown Sugar, but it just seemed like it was just heavy on this. And I'm such a Curtis Mayfield head that gave me that because this album gave me like what Curtis Mayfield gave me on The Roots. How funny is that? Like, so see,
Yeah.
it's so thick and it's just like it's heavy. And it's
You
just like
know,
one of those albums you just listen to and have like a glass of wine and just vibe out. You know what I
definitely
mean?
why. Yeah, roll smoke a little something, but you know what
Okay.
though? It's funny you call the album heavy and I see or what he called it heavy and I see why he would. But I also want to like counter that too, because I feel like it's really breezy and settled and grown. Like D'Angelo just kind of glides over shit with ease. Like,
Yes.
you just see him. He's just think about all the best people that we love, at least that I love. Like I think of a Sade, like to me, top artist of all time. I've heard her since birth. Like I think when I think about the fact that like Smooth Operator, all that shit came out like I'm 37. Thinking about that shit came out years before I was even born. Like I'm young, but I ain't a spring chicken. You know what I mean? And
That
so,
part.
and so being growing up with that, it's like she's the artist I've heard the most, I would say, just and carried her through adulthood. And there's some sounds that just do not get old So I put this in that same category, but the ease that they both kind of like, it oozes out of them.
Mm-hmm.
It seems effortless. And it seems like, to be D'Angelo seems like a type of dude that he has 20 more albums like that in him if he really wanted to. I feel like
Yes.
I don't feel like it's like some people hit it and they're like, oh, they get luck once. Like, no, the synergy with the right musicians. And I've realized that even more as you really sit with albums like this, you're like, it takes the right synergy with the right musicians. They can
Mm-hmm.
all be at their top of their game, but when you get them there, you're like, damn, y'all really went off on this. Y'all really,
Mm-hmm.
really went off on this. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I feel about this album too. Like it's really special.
I love
And
how.
the first
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, 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 no. Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, no. No, not at all. The first time I heard this, I realized I didn't answer this question. My mom bought it when it came out. So I must have been 16, 17, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I was like 16. I want to say I should have looked that up, but I
Oh,
was a teenager, I was always into music, thankful to my parents. And just my mom bought it. I would hear it in the car, in the house, and that was just it. Out it was on, Untitled was all over the TV. So those are kind of music videos that we watched that we had growing up as teenagers. The music that was popular was and that's cool. Like, how lucky were we?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
That's
And
luck. Like,
yeah, and I love now when this came out, I'm older than y'all. I was good and grown. And well, not good and grown, but I was in my early 20s. And
grown. Yeah, grown.
yeah,
Yeah. But like young people grown. No, I hate
yeah,
to mock
but
it, but
very young.
young people grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly
Mm-hmm.
that. I was
When did this
I mean,
album
I was
come
in
out?
college,
Yeah, because this album
but
came
about
out
to be out.
2000, right? 2000,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So I
Oh,
was
yes, I was.
21.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah, I
was
was 21.
14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
Um
14 as well then. Okay. Yeah. There
Mm-hmm.
we go. I thought
Yeah.
I
but
was
I just
15.
yeah. And I just remember how it hit me at that age. So I feel so fortunate to be there to kind of be able to starting to understand some of these growner topics and heavier things and sexual things and just being in love and all that, So
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's nice. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool. I like that. But you know what's cool about this album too? It only hit for me like maybe 4 years later where I got into that phase, and this album was still such a big part for me. It didn't outgrow. I took it with me to that stage and even beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool to experience it new and raw when it first comes out, when you're like in that mode. I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm like
cool.
that too. Even though it came out in 2000, it was like I was getting it musically. I wasn't getting it lyrically because I never really experienced that
Yes.
before. So it was
Yes.
like I was feeling it musically. But when I got to college, like you said, I brought it with me. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, okay. Now I'm getting this thing lyrically here. Now I'm understanding a lot of what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Because my favorite song on this album is Send It On. Like,
Woo!
that is my favorite song,
Let
period.
me tell
Like,
you what the playlist that one is on.
listen. Yes.
At the
Hello.
motherfucking top.
And
That's a good.
I love the video version. So and
Ah,
then it's
that
like again
song.
he's bringing in those influences again. You know what I mean? So when I listened to this and I got to the root and I had my first real heartbreak, I was like, I get it. I was like, I get what D'Angelo was saying. Like
Hmm.
musically, I'm not even thinking about it. Like, yo, you feel like your soul is empty. And like you said, heartbreak, anybody can feel. That's never gonna get old. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So just the way
Yeah.
he intertwined that into this, musically and everything, and it's just like this. And then mind you, he's coming right after One More Gin, which is such a sexual song. You
Oh,
know
he's
what I
like,
mean?
listen, well, it's also, it's sexual, but it's also, I think it's more like longing for the good times you had with someone before. I think it's more
Okay,
sweet. I think it's sensual. I think it's a little more
definitely, yeah.
sweet though. It's actually sentimental. It's like, damn, like that was good. I want to do that just one more time with one more kid, please. It's so, but even that was easy. He wasn't begging. None of his songs about sex are on some begging ass, whining ass shit. He's just like, I am a sensual man. You are a sensual person, whoever he was speaking to at the time. And here it is. And I want it. This is what it is.
Right,
And
right.
I love like how he approaches very sexual songs, very sensual songs. He's not thirsty. What is his sign? I gotta know. I'm so funny, but
Yeah, when is
is D'Angelo a Taurus? No, he gives me Earth sign, but I could be very wrong.
uh, oh, he's an Aquarius.
Oh shit, these motherfuckers.
I was waiting. As soon as he said Aquarius, I was like, oh, she finna.
Shout out to, you know what
He
though?
has
Here's the thing.
opinions about
Okay, I'm
Aquarius.
gonna keep this real quick. I'm gonna keep it quick. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it honest.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I think Aquarian people are so cool. Well, the men. I'm talking about the women. I think Aquarius women are so cool, easy, interesting, go with the flow, easy, right?
Mhm.
And that very much flows with who I am as a person. I think that romantically, because I'm only romantically involved with men, I feel like romantically Aquarius men are very cold and can be very distant. And there's an arrogance there sometimes, and like a just an arrogance and a coldness there that I just find really common, and it's I can't ignore patterns. And so, but I tend to attract them so much. I don't know why, but but I don't really date them as a rule. I've only dated one twice, and Aquarians are just interesting. But they're artists. They have really forward-thinking ways. They're visionaries. You know, they make incredible artists, and so I can see it. I guess I thought he has such a sensuality and like a warmth to him that I don't often see in Aquarius men. So that actually surprises me. But the artistry is there for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like Elise was saying, like I love how Elise says when we talk about D'Angelo, he don't have any bad albums. He's the type to let the artistry lead him. You know what I mean? Like if it ain't right, it ain't right. You know what I mean? Like if and I'm so glad that Virgin just let him be that artist. Cause you know, sometimes these record labels will be like, no, we need something like this, or we need another brown
They
sugar
might
in
have
here.
tried it, and he was
They
probably
might
like,
have did. And he went
Yeah.
against the grind. Like,
"You get
nah,
what
I'm
you get,
good.
and you don't throw a fit."
Yeah.
They was like, we let you do all the art you want, but you gotta do all of this.
I
That's what I
actually
think it is.
loved, yeah, I loved his last album. Actually, I really it reminded me of a specific time. I think it came out in like 2015. I want to say, was it
2014. So
2015?
the end of 2014 and beginning of 2015. Yeah.
Okay, and it reminds me of a very distinct time in my life, and it reminds me of just like how Brooklyn used to feel and the community and the places I used to go. But I loved that album. I play Really Love a lot. I actually refer to that album quite a bit too. So I agree with you. He does not have any bad albums at
Mm-mm.
all.
That's my
Mm-mm.
Voodoo takes the
album right
cake.
there.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. No, that's a really fucking good album.
And
And
maybe that's the reason why he left because, like y'all saying, like they probably was pushing for him to have another Voodoo, but no, I think with him and this album Voodoo, it's kind of gift and a curse, which kind of sucks because it was like a gift. He gave us an amazing body of work, but then it ruined him as a person because people wasn't looking at him as the musician and artist anymore. They was looking at him as more of a sex symbol. He's like, no, that's why. And you know, when you go to his shows, he's like, all right, I'm gonna take my shirt off first. Let's just get that out the way so y'all can get y'all screaming. And then they still didn't. And it kind of ruined him and ruined him artistry wise because he's like, damn, nobody's paying attention to what I'm doing as an artist. They just looking at the image of it all. And then he probably was like, you know what? And then the label was like, oh, we need another one of those. Give
see,
me
I'm gonna
another
call
one of those.
bullshit again. I'm gonna call bullshit on D'Angelo again.
Okay,
See, this
talk
is
to me.
Aquarius.
Talk to me.
See, it makes sense that he's an Aquarius. God damn it. Okay, by the way, I'm being really silly. I'm serious. I'm not kidding, but I'm kidding. You know what I mean? It's like one of
Yeah.
those kidding, not kidding, but kidding.
Yeah.
Um, not kidding. So I think that when you show your incredible sexy ass body only and you're sweating and you're looking fine as hell and the V's are out,
Yeah.
you like sexuality. You like how it makes you feel. Or maybe that's the direction you chose to go in. So this isn't on some like, oh, be careful what you wear, and then people will treat you a certain way. But it's like if that is the actual image as your artist that you are control what people actually see of you, because we don't know people, we don't ever get to meet them. Very often we get to meet these people. It is literally the packaging that we get is all we can go off of.
Right.
So I think that he just happens to be a fine ass person, and so I think maybe he became like a trapped in his own, like kind of like how Chappelle did. I think you decide how you manage your fame. You come with the tools either you have them or you don't when you hit fame. And I don't know. I've never hit level of fame that's like real. You know what I'm saying? So maybe someone at home that's listening is like, nah, bitch, you don't really know. And hey, maybe that's true. But from what I can tell, it just people mismanage or manage things differently, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
rather than mismanage. Like there are some famous people who I'm sure have gone through their shit, but you don't see them because they ain't trying to be seen. They're not trying to be, they're careful about what they give us. They're careful about how they share with us. And maybe that's a lesson he learned after that. But it was hard to remove the sexuality from his music because he oozed it naturally. And also the image that he was giving us was like leading into that. Like people were
Yeah.
leaning into it. So I think it was cool how he came out on the next album, like, I learned my lesson and this is what I'm gonna do. But he couldn't necessarily be mad at the reaction or the kind of audience that it was pulling, I should say. The audience that it pulled is what you threw out to get.
I mean,
As
that's
an
true.
artist,
That's very true.
we're talking
Very true.
art. We're
Yeah.
talking art, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
talking just like what outfits you wear out in the street. We're talking like, hey, you're pre-packaging yourself. You're going to shoot a video. You have all these things. Like, okay, so like I know for me, I would feel very uncomfortable because I was like, ooh, I wouldn't want to track that. I'm like, let me just chill out. If I
Mm-hmm.
were if I were making films of myself, right? And I was
Mm-hmm.
sharing these films, I'm very conscious of myself, of what I choose or who I'm pulling in, whether it's like giving life advice, which I don't agree with doing. I'm conscious of the people that might pull in, like people that want to take from you and have questions and want to like, it's consciousness
Yeah.
about what you're pulling in. And I don't mean just with sexuality or him just being fine as hell, anything. But you learn that as artists. I definitely learned. I'll say this, I learned with She's Gotta Have It, like I'm way more guarded about my spirituality, my practices, because when you're loose with things, you're pulling that certain audience in. And that was a lesson that I learned.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So
Mm-hmm.
please, dear God, I hope that shit didn't sound judgy or like on
No,
any
no, not
level.
at all. Because it
Well,
actually,
that's another perspective. Yeah.
yes, because I'm not even
Which I
gonna lie.
tend to
It
be more on
actually
that side.
it threw
Yeah,
me
because I
off
don't.
too. Because
Mhm.
I'm like, you see him coming from Brown Sugar where he's wearing the big clothes and the this and the that. And then you see a magazine where he got on some Speedos. It's like, wait
But
a
I love
minute,
it.
hold up.
I
Is
love
this
it.
trend?
No, I'm here for it. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Don't get it twisted. I'm here for it. Like,
Yeah.
and when I'm in my little bikini pictures on IG, I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's a, it's not that that energy's bad. There's nothing wrong with it. I use it. We all use it our own way. And
Right.
why not? But I'm just saying, like, if that's what you're mad about, maybe there's some things in your control that maybe you could just adjust a bit. That's my
That's
point.
true. That's true. That's true. I can see that. I could definitely see that. It's just,
Yeah.
he's the guy that's just musical. But again, when you have an album out, you got to give something for people to be like, I want it. You know what I mean? And I mean,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, he's in the he's his the dang album cover. He's shirtless. Like it's like you go from you
Yeah.
sitting with a big jacket on.
He
You know
was
what I'm
fine as
saying? And
hell in that
brown
too.
sugar.
But he was fine. He was naturally fine. What's he gonna do?
Right, right.
And
We were
and
gonna be thirsty either way.
yeah, I was gonna say in the brown sugar days, he was getting thirsted after then. How do I know? Because I was one of them thirsty people.
I was a young
I'm
D'Angelo
day one
lover. I was
fan.
too
Yeah,
young, too young. So yeah, that's just all I'm saying. Like we have ways in our control to maybe reshift focus sometimes
yeah,
that people
yeah.
have of us.
And like you said, when he got to Black Messiah, it's like, okay, I learned. It's gonna be about
Yeah,
the music now. I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. I'm gonna go. It's
and
like he
good for
kind of went back
him.
to the brown sugar days, honestly, because it was like, okay, the clothes don't matter. Just listen to the music. I want y'all to
Good for
focus on that, and
him.
that's what he did.
Good for him. And I love that either way. Like, if you want to give us a little more, I ain't mad at that either. But we just have to realize how we pull certain attention or focus to what we're
Yeah.
doing at the time. That's all,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, thank you for kicking it with us. This has
Yes,
been
y'all.
So,
this has been a
Yeah,
oh
very
this was
dope
fun.
combo.
yes,
I expected
I
nothing
love
less,
where it went.
but yeah, I expected nothing less, but it was really dope. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, thank you
yes.
guys. I enjoyed talking to y'all too. And yeah, I hope that shit didn't sound judgy, but listen, it is what it is.
Ain't nobody gonna come stupid because if they come stupid, don't worry, we got you.
No,
Nah,
Oh,
they ain't
thank you.
crazy.
No, 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 no. I don't
but
think so.
that's what
I
we do on
don't.
the show. We come from an honest place, from our perspective. That's what we do. We don't like I don't come on here if somebody comes to talk about an album that they love. and there's a song on it. If I don't like it, I just don't. I'm like, I don't like it, but this is why. Boom, 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 boom. But
Right.
Yeah.
and then but I'll come back. I'll be like, but I don't like it. It's bad.
No, totally. No, it's more like I
But
just
I've
want to be
never
clear.
insult anyone,
No, yeah, and I just want to be clear that it's like, because I'm just want to be super clear that I think that selling sexuality is more than okay. Like again, I'll put on a bikini in a minute and try and get cute, but it was more as I'm not making a comment on that, and I want people to know that that line is very clear for me. But you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This
So
is
if you would
fun.
like people to find you, where can they find you?
Oh, my first and middle name at Santana Caress, Caress. My mom named me after soap, but I'm not mad at it. Um,
I love to be
and
associated with cleanliness. Hey,
you, you know how I feel about cleanliness.
I
Wash your
do.
protein, wash your ass, clean your house, clean up.
At least
That's
know
the
that over
Caribbean
here. She be like, "What you doing?" I'll be like, "Cleaning my house."
Caribbean yell ting. I don't play about that. I don't play about my house clean. I just don't. Neither of my parents did growing up, so both homes I was in was like mad clean, and it just puts you in that frame of mind. Cleanliness is godliness. I know what people when people say that. Can we talk about that just really quickly? Is that
Mhm.
okay? I don't want to take up any of your time. Are you guys
No, please.
like think about how like when you really deep clean your house and you get out that water, which is like super cleansing, and just water itself washes things away, and the products it use and the essential oils and opening the windows and letting the air in, it elevates you in such a way, light spiritually, you feel inspired. There's something about cleanliness when you're clean, when your hair is clean, when your teeth are clean, your body's clean, you feel fresh going out in the world. It really elevates you, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sparkle. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
I be at JR house and he be vacuuming right around me and like he's like one of the
Virgo.
cleanest. He's like one of the cleanest dudes I ever met in my lifetime.
Right. It's like
When's
she
your
got to yell at
birthday?
me because it was
Oh,
one
he's a
time
Leo.
I'm a Leo.
Oh, I have a Leo moon. I like Leos a lot.
Yes. And she and Elise would come to my house and she would cook. And I would try to she'd be like, "Get out of the kitchen. Let me cook."
You guys are a
Get
great pairing,
out.
it seems.
She got a kick. She'd be like, "Go sit down. Go sit
Yeah.
down. Go
I'm
sit
like,
down."
damn it. Get
That's a nice pairing, though. That's such a lovely pairing. A cleaner, a cooker, a community, cute, cute community people. Like when you,
Yes.
friends like that, I love it. Like I actually, like my closest New York girlfriends, we all lead, everyone's very busy, but we all lead very busy lives. We always make time for each other. And I often host here because we have a lot of space here. And making dinner for them and just like the way that they bring, no one's ragged. Everybody comes and brings something, always brings something to share. And it just good synergy with good people, with good intentions. It's so good. Spending time eating with them. Just gotta love it.
Yes. Oh my God,
Gotta
yes.
love it. Anyway, I could talk forever about whatever. So you guys have a good Sunday.
yeah. Yeah, and we thank everyone for tuning in, especially our folks that kick it in the live chat. Y'all are the best. But like, share, subscribe, bring us some more cousins. This is a family, a community, and
Yes.
bring it on. Send it on.
Send it on, baby. I'm about to put that shit on and clean some chicken. Love you
Man,
guys.
me too.
We will catch
Ciao.
y'all on the next
Okay.
episode of Catch That. Peace.
Bye.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am naturally Elise, and, and that's my brother.
JR.
And I promise, we are the R&B representatives. I really promise.
We
And
promise.
and today we are bringing back a very familiar face to the show and a familiar face to our lives. It is our good sister, homegirl, Miss Chasity. Hey.
Hey guys, I miss you so much. Happy
Girl,
New
yes.
Year.
Like I ain't talked to you for 2 hours yesterday, but okay.
Technically the other day, but yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
well, yeah, my bad, wrong day.
Yes.
But I'm glad. Thank you guys. I miss you guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't skip all the formalities and we gonna jump right into this. How about Miss Chastity? You tell us what song you picked and if you remember hearing it for the first time.
Yes, guys. Well, thank you so much for having me back on the platform. And yes, the song I picked today was Cheers to You by Playa. Yes, Cheers to You by Playa. Oh, at least you better bust out that mind. You better have that mind.
Yeah,
She know her already. See that
yeah,
shit?
Look, there you go. Look. Hey,
for
yes,
giving
Cheers to
me
You.
the chance.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
you better, yes. Oh, I love it. Yes. So yes, I picked the title track "Cheers to You" from Player's debut album. Y'all, oh my God! I think the first time I heard this song, maybe when I was like 9 or 10. You know, I lived in Dallas, Texas in the '90s. So before I moved back home, I lived in Dallas, Texas to listen to Flavor TV, all the stuff that was like my midnight love of Dallas. So I heard these three guys. I heard this beat, and it was very infectious. And then I just heard these three guys just singing down, and then they kind of like faded away a little bit. Kind of faded away a little bit. You know, you heard the beat and stuff like that, and then I guess years later, when I was in grad school, I just kept hearing "I'll Be Your Range." And I'm like, what song is this in my head? Like, why is this song coming in my head? What is this? So I was just so adamant and just so eager to want to remember what the song was, because I remember just either the beat or just the words. And then when I found out it was playing, I was like, Play. I'm like, wait a minute, I know these dudes and Play. And then when I realized Static, I'm like, oh my God. And so y'all, that was it. I mean, Playa 9, and then it faded out. And then I guess, in my adult years at 30, I kind of revamped it back up in my life again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I adore that song. I remember the first time hearing it, but I know it was on a radio. No, was it? Did I get a video on the radio first? I feel like I might have heard it on a Quiet Storm first. I don't know if I saw the video first. I don't know which came first, but I do remember it just being like kind of a stop in your tracks kind of thing. Because first
Yeah.
off, you didn't hear any beats like that. That was like
Yeah.
that was new. And so it was like that, especially on a song in that tempo. And
Mm-hmm.
then I heard the voices got me and how that record is arranged. And then the what? The bridge. The bridge. Like it's when you gotta throw something. Like it's too good.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. When I first heard the song for real, I was like, when I heard it on the radio, I was like, this is a Timberland beat. I knew off the
Yeah.
break because it was nobody doing no beats like that. So I was like, this is a Timberland beat for real, and it wasn't your typical ballad. You know what I mean? It kind of reminded you of what One in a Million and 4-Page Letter was. So it
Mm-hmm.
had that type of beat to it. So I was like, and then when I heard Smoke come in with, well, I was like, oh, there's some church. And at first, when for maybe the first 5 seconds, I was like, this is it sounded it was I was like, is this KC? Maybe the first 5 seconds, because that well, and then he started singing again. And then Smoke started singing. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. And then the hook comes in, and
Mm.
then Black comes in.
Mm.
Let me tell you something. Black is from the church. He can't help it. It's just there. It's just like, listen, you hear that and you know that's that collard green type of singing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it was
Yeah.
like, it was so thick. And then it was like they harmonies came in like a church quartet. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like. Like it gave you that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
then after that, for me, I knew that they use what's the dang song? I love them now, but they use the dramatics in the rain. They use
Mm.
that sample. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know that. But then it was like, who are these dudes? Who are these
Yeah.
dudes? Because I'm like, I don't know who these dudes is. Like, who are they? And then I saw the video.
Mm.
Now, when I saw the video, I was like, well, wait, I know them. Like, I know they've been in a couple videos before, and I'm like, who did this? I was like, oh shit. They down with Timberland and Missy and all them, and they were in the videos and all that kind of stuff. And y'all gonna find this funny. And I'm gonna bring my mother up into this, right? So Smoke, we always said that Smoke looked like Aaliyah's brother, right? So my mother used to be like, Aaliyah brother sing too. I was like, I think so. I was like, I think. I was like, I think so. I think he sings. And then we looked, and then I was like, no, that's not Rashad. I was like, no. And then realized it was Smoke and Black and obviously, Static, and knowing that they were on a lot of other stuff, like, Static wrote Pony.
Oh,
and that train never late. And and it was like they was around, and then they wrote "Are You That Somebody?" Like they was into so many things, so you got to know them, the behind the scenes, and then seeing them in the videos with Timberland and all them, and Aaliyah and all that kind of stuff. And then for them to have this record, and it was so different, and it was so funky, but it was yet church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I like these dudes. You know what I'm saying? And again, it was just, they were just dope. And I was like, this is a dope ass record. So I was ready to get this album from them for real.
Yeah, and it's great because it was doing all this innovative things production wise, but at the end of the day, it's still a very traditionally structured R&B song, like traditional R&B. Like it's like if you took away that production, you still had something. Like if it would have just had regular, straightforward, just kind of regular instrumentation, it still would have been dope.
Yeah.
But that production just added a little extra sprinkle and made it modern.
Yeah, I agree, Lisa. And that's why I feel like sometimes that's what we're missing in modern music now, singing. So the thing is with singing, with the trio that is, like, from them coming, like JR was saying, coming from Divine Saint Swing, the Basement Crew, they really, really had to work on their vocals and all this stuff like that. And I feel like with Devontae, he really, really made them understand their craft of singing. Like, it's not, yes, you do the production. Like, Timberland was the production, but the thing about it is what makes the production mess with the sound. And I was starting to think, too, with a lot of these music, I think with Aaliyah, I'm going to throw Aaliyah in here because I got to shut on today. But with that being said, with Aaliyah's voice, with Timberland, a lot of people don't understand, I think, the production sound. And I think when you have a light voice or something that can mesh together, it can make sense on why the songs work. Like you said, even though it was like modernized, it still was an R&B song. And we think of it as an R&B song with that sound. So when you have people like Playa that really study the craft of music coming from the basement, we know how the Basement Crew was back in the day. They
really and noodles for dinner.
Stop.
I'm playing. It's all love. I'm just playing. Come on, I got a show called Catch That. Come on, y'all.
Right. Yes, catch it.
They just said that in the interview, so it's not like you lied.
Right. But in all honesty, I feel that, what it is, they were very versatile, at least. And I love that you talked about that they really could hung. And I wish they would have just had a more and more broader, but like I love what you said about the songwriting, pen game, and just seeing that they really were versatile. They can sing, rap, Saturday love to rap. And then you got, that church voice. You have the best of both worlds. And I think with Playa, they really, really get really, really slept on. I'm really hurt about that. But I think for me, and I'm going to put my little thing up, I feel that, without Playa, I wouldn't have this. So this right here really, really meant the world to me for what they did in my life. And I think this song, Cheers to You, means the world to me because this is when I got my master's. So they mean the world to me. And I feel like this song always needs to get recognized. And for Pop Smoke, RP to him, for them to bring that back and resurge them, the song is timeless. It really is.
What you call it, the Justin guy, he used it for the end of time. So that was cute.
You know how you always know JR about to say some bullshit? Every time. What they say in poker, that's your tell. That's when I know.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I ain't low, son.
Yeah. So you know how, as music heads, we find one little line, and it's not even the line in everybody. Why I just love when he be like, I got your back. I don't know. I just like that part.
But he right. Look, Timberland.
Yeah, I
Remake.
got you back. Cheers to you. Oh,
Yes.
I'll be your angel.
Listen.
But it's like Guardian Man, that right there just sends me on a high. And I think at least for me, just even talking about the school part, I think in retrospect, even though obviously talking about being in love with a woman and just, loving her and just honoring her, I felt like for me, what they did for me was I was honoring myself to push myself to be a greater person. I feel like the Guardian Man, what they said, it could be God in my interpretation. Because, we can interpret music very differently. And I felt like when this song came back to me at 30 years old, I think it just motivated me to be a better person instead of what we think of music,
That's so dope how you say you would think about yourself, because thinking about when Black comes in on his verse, what he said, I know we can win. You can depend on me through the thick and the thin. Like, come on, like
I got you back.
That's gospel right there. You know what I'm saying? And for him, I bet you that line was probably so, like, he felt that line. You know what I mean? From him coming from where they come from that church background, that is a lot. That is an inspirational thing right there. You could be talking to God, because just like how you said, you can interpret music how you interpret it. If it connects to you spiritually, it might connect to you that way. You might talk about being in love with somebody, so it connected to you because it helped you get your degree. So that was on some spiritual level. And that line right there, and come on, you dealing with boys that, you know what I'm saying? They come from the church where you just have a fish sandwich at the end of church. Like they like they know, you know what I'm saying? Like they know that church thing. And like me and Elise was saying earlier, we just, as far as them, we just like, dang, we wish this album would have did better. You know what I mean? But this song still did good for them. It did.
Oh yeah.
Right? Chart wise, right? At least I think. I don't want to lie.
But I mean, the song did well.
Okay.
It got a lot, and it got heavy rotation. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because it was just like, but then again, they had so many groups that they had to go against. That's the problem. Yeah. That was the problem there. They had 112 and Dru Hill was kicking by this time. They were kicking. And then,
yeah, I was telling JR earlier, anytime I hear Cheers to You, it puts me in the mind of, not sonically, but it gives me the same feeling as a year later, Jagged Edge with Gotta Be. I don't think either song without thinking of the other, even though they sound different, but they give that same feeling. I be doing the same stuff singing it, like,
It does, at least. I agree.
I guess they do have a kind of weird cadence to them, so maybe that's why they put me in the mind the way the songs go. So maybe that's why. I gotta be. I guess they do have a similar. I gotta be. I gotta be. Yeah. Okay. Sonic.
I mean, they're wearing the same type of suits in the video. Jagged Edge wearing red. But listen, Jagged Edge wearing red, and they just wearing black. Like that. Black. I mean, shit, that was really the difference, but the cadence is the same. It is.
Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah. It's just the production is different, but the cadence of the singing is very similar. Yeah.
I just think maybe if they would have went to another label, it could have been a little different, because they on Def Jam, so they had to compete with Dru Hill.
They did.
You know what I mean? So it was like, Dru Hill was on fire. This is 98. They going into their second album, and this new group comes in, and and people need to understand this. Your first album, the label don't really believe in you like that. You gotta sell it. You have to sell the album, and if you don't, they will move right along. And if you don't got the right people behind you with the promotion of it all, but see, I think the label might have thought, what, Missy and Timberland is hot. They down with Aaliyah. That's going to be enough to push it. And you can't do that. You got to find other ways, because they're competing with all these other groups. And then they got a different sound in all of these groups too. So it was like, y'all had kind of like a gold mine to work with, and they really could have worked with it, and they didn't. That's what just,
Yeah, and I agree with that. But luckily enough, I feel for me though, you can always find the player, I guess the player essence in any of these groups too. But Destiny's Child was Say My Name remix. You know what I'm saying, bro? So seeing that, even though we know Timbaland was a part, Timbaland needed Static to help him get that voice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it to be negative,
No,
but
no,
I
no,
mean,
you're not. No, no, no.
the singing was very great. And I mean, come on, y'all. We got Black with So Anxious. Come on.
They
So
was
Playa
getting
had
money.
their huge, right? The pen, and like you said, y'all, with the Basement Crew, what that talent they took there and just brought it to everybody. Even though within themselves, we wish we would have got to see them as a trio, blossom. But luckily enough, they blossom in other people in different groups or solo wise.
That's real. That's real.
So it sucks that I wish they would have got because I think they would have branched them out more. But like you said, it was just too many groups.
It was too many. Too many. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a go. And not just too many groups. It was groups that was good and could sing. Like it wasn't like you like almost all the groups were very solid vocally.
Right.
Not every single one, but most of them.
Yeah.
Right. Because this was the time that most, the Boys, the Men, and the Jodeci was kind of on the decline by this time. You know what I mean? And then you got 112 coming in. You got Drew Hill coming in. You got Jagged Edge coming in. You got like all of the groups are good. You know what I mean?
They're
so
amazing.
It's just like you can pick either one, and then you got these guys coming in, and it's like maybe if they would have came out in '96, maybe this could have been something different. You know what I mean? Because they did do an album with Swing Mob in '95, but again, it didn't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Because Devontae and business and all that. That's why everybody got out of there. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we out. You know what I mean? But this is and I cannot leave without talking about them horns on that hook.
Yes, I'm sorry. I
baby, that sax on that hook is everything, and it's churchy too. What?
And sexy. Lord forgive me. I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, Jesus, no. Amen. How about I go shot somebody? Amen, somebody. but like Elise was saying, that breakdown, baby, that breakdown, you can tell, and that's when you know that Static wrote a lot for Aaliyah because of the way that breakdown goes. He's singing it like if he was giving this track to her. I can hear her on that breakdown, just how vocally he attacks that joint. You know what I mean? And that's why I was just like, they were just dope. They pen were just dope. Like this song is just perfect. I wouldn't change it at all because it's just like, look, the instrumentation of it all, they singing down, the beat is sick. You know what I'm saying? They giving you a little bit in the video. They giving you the quartet in the video while they sitting on their school chairs. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do it.
You had to, didn't you? Look,
I had to do it. But it was a cute little video though, because again, they, you know what I'm saying, in the little neighborhood, and you know what I'm saying, Static talking to the girl, and the homeboys want to fight him, but he like, what? I'm gonna still take your girl anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a dope song, and it just takes me back to this is a song that really takes me back to '98. Like when I heard it, and it felt good, and it's like anytime I see the video, I'd be like, cheers to you. Yes, like I be going in on this joint. So like it's such a dope ass joint, you know what I mean? And oh God, like y'all said, they still, it might have not been a big, album or whatever, but at the end of the day, this song definitely is a stamp. You know what I mean? Like,
when they get it paid for, because when Pop Smoke, R.I.P. to Pop Smoke, who passed away back in 2020, he sampled the song. So Diana, that's the song Diana I love. Like I said, once I got obsessed with that song because of Degree, it got worse when the pandemic hit. I was into like Chasity, you was in overdrive, but look, it changed my life. And for me, I just love the sampling of it because they were they're very, very sweet guys. And I've talked to them, and I know for me, Smoke was very, very proud. He was like, thank you so much. And he never knew that this song could change people's lives. I was like, yeah. And they changed my life.
It's so crazy too, because they're their label mates, Drew Hill, they used this sample too. They
Mm.
used it for the Beauty remix with
That,
Case. So
that would
it's
make
like it's a dope ass record. Like you can't help it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's so dope. You know what I'm saying? So for people, for everybody to use it and all that kind of stuff, I think somebody. I'm probably missing somebody else that did it, but I know that Justin did it. I know that
Yeah,
Drew
the
Hill,
Pop Smoke and Justin Cone.
Pop
I mean,
Smoke, yeah, they did it. But I know somebody else did. So I was like,
but I'm happy it sampled. Thank you, Jesus.
come
Because
on
they give me a
now.
corn.
You're in Static Family, Black and Smoke getting their
Oh,
money. Come on, somebody. Because even in their interview when they was in with on Planet Groove, y'all kids
yeah.
will never know about Planet Groove. And they was sitting there and they were talking about all the stuff that they was writing. They said, let me tell you something. We came into this joint knowing the business.
Right.
And I was like, I know that's right. They was letting it be known you're not stealing their coin. They ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said from the beginning, since they learned from Devontae. Devontae was serious about them on their crafts, and Sweet was just on the We Sound Crazy podcast. Shout out to Timon and Phil and Louis York and them. And Sweet was like, yo, he was so serious about us with our craft. She said, I have to thank him for the genius that he is, because my pen wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for him. A lot of our pens and production wouldn't be if it wasn't for Devontae. So those, and he said he was so serious about us with our crafts. That's why he didn't
Yeah.
want us to listen to the radio. He didn't want us to listen to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like you could tell Playa with a song like this, they put their all into that. You know what I mean? And you can feel it and it's real. You know what I mean? So shout out to Devontae because he don't get a lot of credit and he should.
That's
For
right.
real, for real. For
Right.
real. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, thank you, Miss Chasity, for
You're
kicking it out. And we missed you too, by the way.
Oh
welcome.
God, all the time.
We do, we do. You know you are hard.
Y'all my heart too. I love you guys. And it was just so amazing. Thank you so much for just honoring them. Like play is truly, truly a gem in this music industry. And I pray in my heart of hearts that, even though Static has passed away, that they always give the love and respect that they have, for 25 plus years now. So I'm super proud. Thank you guys so much for this.
Yeah.
Yes. So we also want to thank all our lovely viewers who hang out with us and kick it in the group live chat during the premieres. It's a good time, family, meet some people. I think
I'll
people have
be out
made
of control. I'll be trying to behave and y'all be out of control up in that live.
JR, what I say on that show, I'm gonna punch you through this damn camera.
You know everybody in the live gonna love that shit.
So we thank y'all so much and for helping us grow and just being awesome. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bring us some more cousins because we's a family. And we will
Yes.
catch y'all on the next Catch Up.
Peace. Cheers to you.
Oh.